I've got to find a breeder. I don't need them for a year or so.
Right.
But I've got to find a breeder. I can't be not some wussy breeder.
Absolutely
some
not.
backyard breeder.
Oh, of course not.
I need the, well, don't you know all these breeders? That precious little dog of yours has won all these ribbons?
I know some Boston Terrier breeders.
I don't want an ugly little bug-eyed Boston Terrier.
But I've provided you with information that will lead you to...
oh, okay.
This is another one of your wife's demands?
Sounds like it.
Sure does.
No, it has nothing to do with it.
You've been talking about Shetland, whatever they are, for years now, haven't you?
No, we just decided we want to buy a couple of dogs. What's wrong with that?
She decided.
Well, she didn't decide anything. She may have...
Okay.
What do you mean she didn't decide
She
anything?
decided.
What you want to say? What are you talking about?
Well,
Mr. Coleman.
we talked about it, and I want the dogs. What difference does it make?
Right.
We decide these things together.
You want the dogs to keep her happy.
No,
In and of themselves, you couldn't give her a rat's...
No, I love dogs. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love my brother's dogs. My brother has 3 Siberian Huskies.
Well, why don't you get a husky?
I would rather get Siberian Huskies, except that you can't make them do anything, and they're useless. And if they get out, they go away and they don't come back for days.
When's the last time you had a dog?
Well, it's been a while. It's been a
taken so
while.
long?
Pardon me?
What's taking so long?
Because we essentially we live in an apartment in New York City.
All right.
And I'm not going to have a dog. The moron who lives now below me has a dog. That's just, and that's idiotic to have a huge dog in an apartment.
Well,
I mean, if they want to do it, it's their business.
Yeah, but it is stupid. You're right.
But I mean, it's stupid. So
Time to get another wife, a younger wife.
that would be pretty tough without violating federal law.
You're the eye man.
I mean, I'd have to start. Anyway, I don't feel well. I mean, I realize I'm not in a bombing, and I'm not complaining, like I am. I
Tell me.
something, I just don't feel well. So, which is why there's no energy level here today.
Would you like a hug?
No, I don't want you to hug me. I want you to find me a Shetland sheepdog, 2 of them. Me and my wife want 2 dogs, 2 Shetland sheepdogs.
Yeah.
So we don't need them for a while, but we want them.
But it's high time to start the quest to obtain these animals.
But don't fax me if you're some backyard breeder of these
No.
dogs. We're interested in dealing with a breeder who's got a wall full of whatever. Charles explained. Charles,
Sure.
Could be one of the more pretentious dog owners on the planet.
I don't think so.
With that hideous, crack-addicted, bug-eyed little Boston Terrier he has.
At least his wife isn't making him be one.
My wife is not making me be anything either.
No, doesn't sound like it.
Well, I mean, I've had dogs all my life. What's wrong with you?
Haven't had a dog in years.
Well, I've lived in an apartment in Manhattan for years, you bald-headed
You
stooge.
had the little villa up in the breakfast garden up there in Connecticut.
Yes, but I mean, I don't live in Connecticut. I'm seldom there.
Come on. You laid the law down.
She didn't lay any law down.
You're obeying it.
Well, I want these dogs as much perhaps more than she does.
That's funny.
You're amusing, Bernard. You know what I'm going to get, Bernard? I'm going to get a couple of pit bulls and bring them to work with me. Turn them loose on you. It's coming up on... here's the reason Bernard can say whatever he feels like saying. Because I was discussing... I said, what does your wife say when you... based on some of the things that you say on the radio. He says she doesn't listen to the program anymore.
Of course not. No way.
So.
No, she damn well better be cleaning up and doing something.
But you can say that because she's not listening. Because
mopping and shopping, baby.
Because Bernard said he got so irritated
and
going at home having to listen to this stuff, didn't you?
Well, yeah. Well, so I straightened that right out.
So.
And you know what her last name is? It's Mrs. McGurk.
Here now, some late headline stories we're following for you in the Imus in Washington Network newsroom.
Overseas, President Clinton valiantly continues his European visit, though visibly shaken by news from stateside. The Supreme Court ruling that the sexual harassment suit lodged against him by Paula Corbin Jones can go forward immediately. Mr. Clinton responded to questions shouted at him by reporters after the ruling came down. Mr. President!
Hey, Bubba, did she up?
Was it consensual, sir?
Mr. President!
Hey, baby, you want to go out?
Not right now, baby. Get away from me, you pack of hyenas. Jesus.
I'll get that drunk commie Yeltsin to sign this NATO fiasco, giving me a foreign affairs legacy, and this here domestic affair fights me. Well, I mean, not fight, but, well, you know what I mean. Hell, I thought Bob Bennett was a lawyer. I could have had Marcia Clark and done this good, and maybe gotten a little. Y'all know if anybody makes Groucho glasses that'll fit on your penis? Jesus, I'm a dead man.
Yes, Daddy.
Now, look, baby.
You look so good.
If anybody asks you, you can't identify nothing, okay?
Ms. Jones accuses Mr. Clinton of asking her for oral sex in a Little Rock hotel room in 1991. Or for a $300,000 loan, or both. Frankly, I get confused.
In another case in which an oral sex allegation figures, just across the Potomac in Arlington, Virginia, the bizarre arrangement of the sportscaster Marv Albert drags on today after Albert showed up for court, apparently wearing every toupee he owns, one stacked atop the other, frustrating attempts to take mugshots of it. Arlington County Police spokesman, Detective Tom Bell.
We suspected we might have a problem when Mr. Albert, who we knew to be approximately 5 feet 10 inches tall, appeared before the bench at 12 feet 4. We have photographed Mr. Albert now 277 times, once for each hairpiece removed, and he is still approximately 11 feet 8. The court is now considering a contempt citation on a charge of hair affectation to avoid prosecution. That's a felony, son.
An apparent effort by Albert to further confuse his identity was thwarted when the booking officer, after a brief struggle, removed the rubber vampire teeth Albert was wearing, along with the wax Chinaman's teeth, which were beneath those. And in still another matter, in which oral stimulation of an erogenous zone reportedly played a role, doctors say talk show host Larry King should be able to resume his CNN duties after a couple of weeks of recuperation to let his mouth mend. Mr. King was injured while making notes about his Memorial Day weekend visit to Ted Turner's sprawling New Mexico ranch when his lips suddenly fused to Turner's left butt cheek. Yes, it would be his left. Mr. King remains hospitalized with his lips in a cast. Sitting in for Larry tonight, America's second most insufferable television personality, Kathy Lee Gifford, who'll share host duties with America's third most insufferable personality, Tiger Woods, who, if indeed God exists, will cup his hands round the bill of his Nike hat and squat down to survey a putt next tournament, and at the height of the hush of the crowd, pass gas like a backfiring chainsaw.
Walking bird dog. Just a walking bird dog. If you don't know how to do it, show you how to walk bird dog. Come on now, come on. Imus in the morning.
General George S. Patton, Jr.
At ease, as you were. All right, people, today, may I have the map, please? Thank you. Today, we have detected a threat to our north at this location right here. Recognize it? Maine, Bangor. Approximate population, 31,643 patriots, and one insurgent turncoat who, God knows how, has managed to infiltrate municipal government despite a complete lack of skills, knowledge, credentials, or any of the other attributes for public service that we normally lump under. Private, give me a Fashion Week fusillade on those lights up there and roll out the projector. Cease fire. Cease fire! Jesus, this isn't a pansy pride parade. All right, fire up the overhead and let's have a look at what we're facing in Bangor, Maine. Okay, who can identify? Yes, Private.
Sir, the elongated cranium, flaring nostrils, fire in the eyes, the coarse hair. Well, that's an enraged cow moose, sir.
Very close, Private. It is in the mammal family. Try again.
Sir, is that a warthog, sir?
You're off by just one click, Private. This beast is, in fact, Patricia Blanchette, the mayor of Bangor, Maine, and a particularly offensive creature who shares many characteristics with Saddam Hussein, in that she has chosen to pick a fight with a vastly superior adversary, the commander of this radio program, John D. Imus. Blanchette has sought to undermine Commander Imus through a disinformation campaign of insinuation and implication, suggesting that he is an uncharitable, egotistical... All right, people, what is the error in that definition? Private? Imus is not uncharitable. Not with his damn name on the Children's Cancer Hospital he built. And while we have searched and searched to this moment,
we are unable to locate a similar facility bearing the name Patricia Blanchett. But then we'll keep looking. Our Bangor, Maine radio outpost, WWMJ, is seeking to greet the I-Man when he broadcasts there this fall. Up a welcoming T-shirt on the giant, which, by the way, reveals all about Bangor, Maine that we need to know. A lumberjack who had an uncomfortably close relationship with a blue ox he called Babe. Jesus. I mean, Andrew Cunanan is gone, but people, believe me, they are still out there. So, we have two options. Insert a demolition team on site to transform beloved Mr. Bunyan into talcum powder, or B, secure the area, establish a defense perimeter, and put a tent-sized bra and panties on the thing, thus transforming Paul Bunyan into Patricia Blanchett. Besides, intelligence informs us she'd probably like a giant blue ox as a change of scene from the silo-sized, die-hard-powered personal massage device that she calls Babe. Thank you for your attention. That is all.
Please help me, I'm falling in love with you. Close the door to temptation. Don't let me walk through. Turn away from me, darling. I'm begging you to. Please help me, I'm falling in love with you. Kindness in the morning.
To break
The Cure, right? The Cure
This
is...
guy's not getting any
No,
free
let
plugs
me
on my
explain
program
something.
unless
This
he
Joey
gives
Pots
me.
and Pans.
I don't care about
No,
some
let me tell you
gangster friend
something.
of yours.
You're my
with some
best. You're one
cheesy product that,
you're one of my. You're one of because he's Italian. He's not a gangster.
all Italians are gangsters,
Listen
and
to
you
me.
know that.
Listen to me. I feel bad about one thing. I feel about that your neck looks like
Don't
the
start about my
scrotumpation
neck with me.
of
With-
this. But listen to me. I have a product that I've invested
Peckerhead.
into. Chantel.
Peckerhead.
Chantel skin cream. You see what this is?
Now, this
I am
stuff
going
is
to make
junk.
I'm going to
This
make a
is-
bet right now.
No,
on the air in
yeah.
front of millions of people.
All
I'm going
right.
to make a bet.
What's the bet?
You use this juice on your neck and your face.
Yeah.
60 days, I will bet you $10,000 to any charity you want. We'll give you on cash. You want to check, whatever
Give
you
me
want. I guarantee you
All
the
right, I'll tell you what.
scrotumization of
I'll
your
tell you what.
neck will disappear.
I'll tell you what, the scrotumization of my neck, what are you
Hold on,
nuts?
hold on. Joey, tell him what this stuff
Get
is,
this
Joey.
gangster out of here.
It's legitimate
I
stuff.
don't care
It's
about
science.
it. I don't.
It's science in a
Give me
bottle.
the money for a commercial before I
have a commercial.
Here's the thing. Give me the $10,000 now. Give me the $10,000. Give me a $10,000 check now
You got
for
it.
the Tomorrow's Children's Fund, the CJ Foundation.
Will you
for
use
Kids.
it?
Yes, I'll use this stuff.
All right, okay.
If we
Well,
can
I'll tell
take
you when you put it on your neck. It could be
No,
your
you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to
We may
put
have
it
to
on
set him
my.
up with a drip.
I'm going to put it on my. Thank you.
You may have to intravenously put
How quickly are you going to be indicted by the Bunko Squad? For this junk? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it. I'm going to put it on my
Available
penis.
writing.
No, don't take the wrinkles out of my
No,
face.
seriously. What it is ethicin. Ethicin is the elasticization of underneath your eyes when the thing's
This guy.
scrotumized.
What's this guy's name?
Joey Pots and Pans.
Joey
DeCama.
Pottsville.
Joey DeCama.
He calls it.
He's
Look,
the president of the company.
his eyes, he looks like Frank Gifford. His skin is so tight. His skin's so tight, he looks like a drum kit. What are you talking about? Looks like Bon Jovi's drum kit.
Listen to me. He's 78 years old. Look at him.
This is
I'm as
some
old as
other.
you.
This is some other scam.
This is not a scam. This is science in a bottle. I'm telling you, this is a
This
molecule.
science is a bottle, and you're going to be in a
Sean,
jail cell. You and him. But there's a bottle, you're going to the
You know
judge.
Polly Bergen? You know Polly Bergen? What's she, about
You'll
90,
be rubbing
Polly
this
Bergen?
on your old
No,
wrinkled
she's
butt in a jail cell. Keep Bubba from what?
Polly Bergen uses it.
Polly Bergen? Who is Polly Bergen? What the hell are you talking about? She's 1,000-year low.
Oh, you got to see
She
how she
looks
looks.
like a grape.
You got to see how she looks. You know what else? David
Get out of
hey,
here.
Don,
Hasselhoff.
David Hasselhoff will be on
David
2020.
Hasselhoff is a homo. What are you talking about? Some Hollywood fruit using wrinkle cream. Get out of here.
Did you see me? Hey,
Stupid
Don,
looking. This is
we're going to put this intravenously. All your wrinkles are dangerous. I'm very serious.
Get out of here. I'm begging you.
$10,000 check.
Freddie, go get my
60
gun that Bo gave me, by the way.
And the butler quit on me, man. Can you believe it?
Just.
Must have been my artistic temperament he couldn't take. How come nobody wants to give me a break? I got the blues right there. Mean and low. I'm as low as the heels of my alligator shoes. You should know how it feels to have these millionaire blues. Millionaire blues.
Imus in the morning.
This is the Imus in the Morning program, WFAN New York, right?
Judy?
Oh, big deal. You know something?
Yeah.
You know what? The last time they called me, I didn't even bother to go.
You're kidding.
I don't want to be bothered with that foolishness.
Yeah.
And I was getting ready to go on vacation.
Didn't they fine you?
No. I don't guess they cared either. Oh,
They
that
did
feels
nothing.
better. I had a tissue stuck up my nose.
Oh, come on, yo.
Come on, baby.
Yo.
You know, I do it to stop the downflow. You know,
Yeah.
listen,
Yeah.
I'm in. Listen,
Yeah.
why are you wasting airtime on Al Sharpton?
Well, he's my man.
This man has no visible means of support. Where does he get his money? He and Jesse Jackson are two of the most sickening men on this planet at this point.
I resent that.
They are creeps. They are horrible. They prey on the very same people they claim they're trying to help.
Right?
They go around, they are so happy when things like Abner Louima happen so they can stick their big noses in. And I'm so glad Abner Louima's representative told them to stay away.
Yeah.
Because they're nothing but trouble.
Right.
And they need to go to Promise Keepers, too.
They do.
And promise to stay out of people's lives. These people, you know, they're leeches.
What I'm
they're
saying.
leeches.
Are you married?
No, I was, but...
What happened there?
Oh, please. Give me a break.
Tell me about it.
I got married at 18 and divorced at 18 and a half. Forget it.
What did you find out?
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, what did you discover about this guy?
He was a creep, but you know what? We get along better now than we did when I was married to him.
Are you still having sex with him?
Hell no.
Oh, okay.
Give me a break.
That was a legitimate question, wasn't
No,
it?
you know what? I just can't go there anymore. I'm just not the marrying time.
Yeah.
Marrying time. It's just too much of a pain.
You have a man in your life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's okay, you know.
What prison is he in?
No stress.
Shut up, Bernard.
Shut up, Bernard. You know, Bernard needs to go to Promise Keepers himself.
Tell me about it.
But you know what? But you know, listen. I was talking about something here. Let's not talk about me. My business is taken care of.
I want to talk
okay?
about. I want to talk about you.
Why you bugging?
Leave
Shut up, Bernard.
leave Reverend Sharpton alone.
I don't like this man.
Well,
I'm
fine.
telling you, the man is dangerous. He's what's wrong with this country. People like him.
Well.
People like him and Jesse Jackson. Go
say
away. Go away.
Get a job.
Well, I just.
Leave people alone. Try to get Marv Albert on your show.
How about if we try to get Bernard to shut up? How about that? That'd be the first thing.
Shut up, Bernard.
Yeah, shut up,
Come
Bernard.
on, baby. You don't say that when I'm in your house.
You wish.
Yeah.
You wish.
What do you do for a living, Cecile?
I work at a home care agency. I told you that.
You did?
Yeah, we take care of the elderly and the infirmed.
You don't smack any of them around, do you?
The elderly and the infirmed.
You don't smack any of them around, do you?
Oh, no, I don't take care of them. I send people out to take care of them.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you know.
Oh.
And I sit there with my Walkman on and try to block everything else, you know.
What do you listen to on your Walkman?
I listen to, well, you all are practically off by the time I get to work.
Yeah.
And then I switch over to, you know, Kiss or something or other, you
The
know.
Hate Whitey station.
Shut up,
hang
Bernard.
Bernard, just shut up.
Bernard, I'm not going to tell you this anymore, Bernie.
hear
Now
you.
stop it. Behave yourself. Go to Promise Keepers.
I gotta go.
Okay.
Later.
Nice talking to you.
Yeah. All right, here now the Imus Morning Program, Reverend Al Sharpton.
When I scored, you score. Don't let anybody tell you what you can't be, or because you may not have where others have or come from where others come, you can't go where you want to go. The people that spoke smoking. I'm more than a token. Julianne ain't gonna be the one to be heartbroken. I always was a player, now I'm gonna be the mayor. Give Ruth the message. She ain't got a prayer. When I said I would run, well, everybody scoffed. Now I'm the one who's laughing because we gotta run off. I'm the status quo's absolute worst nightmare. Gold chains and medallions and my jiffy pop hair. They say I'm too slick when I spout my rhetoric. Like a lunatic with a superfly walking stick. But the other one I'm packing in my drawers make you sick. Make that plunger look like a toothpick. Got the juice and the flow, and there ain't no doubt all the bitches want me in they nappy dugout. Gonna get me some booty when I do my civic duty. And bust a cap on Rudy cause he blow like booty. I'm Reverend Allen, I know you all are wondering why. All of a sudden I got juice. Chickens have come home to roost. I ain't no demagogue, champion of the underdog. Kiss me, I don't care, just don't be messing with my hair. I'm bigger than small, more puff than daddy. So fly, Tiger Woods wanna be my caddy. When I'm done with Messenger, you'll see that old hag covered in poop in a giant leaf bag. I got the skills and I got the finesse to get me into a crazy mansion address. Attitude may be a little high and mighty, but I got no fear cause I've been stabbed by Whitey. Nobody but me thought I ever had a chance, cause like Delbert, I was a victim of a circumstance. Used to be perceived as a media parasite till WFAN-Imus showed me the light. So don't count me out, cause the bell ain't rung. And the fat bitch with that horny helmet ain't sung. Tell Rudy Giuliani that he gonna be a goner. Biggie Sharp's gonna be the one they call his honor. I'm Reverend Allen, I know you all are wondering why. All of a sudden I got juice. Chickens have come home to roost. I ain't no demagogue, champion of the underdog. Kiss me, diss me, I don't care. Just don't be messing with my hair.
God, I hate Bernard.
I tell you.
Well, because, Bernard, you're the disloyal weasel.
Now, how do you figure that?
Well, because I'm not going to talk about it now. I'll talk to you later about it. No, not because of Delbert.
I didn't give you the right response.
Bernard Getz. You don't look so bad. Here's another. That's what you just did. That's what you just did to Bernard McGirt. You Bernard Getz to Bernard McGirt.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Look at the mess that this cover of Newsweek is. See what a great cover time is? Yes, it is. That's a great cover, Yeah, isn't it? yeah. That's so I'm offering my services. Sure. And I'll be happy to design your covers for you for a month or two, and I guarantee you that your sales will increase dramatically.
Mm-hmm. Shut up. What, are you going to put a cactus on the cover or something?
No, how about your bald head?
In the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
How would you like... So he presents these Johnson tapes last night that everybody has. I've played them. The Today Show played them.
NPR, last time.
National Public Radio played them.
Yeah.
All of the news shows have played them. Everybody's played them.
Mm-hmm.
I played them first, but that's irrelevant. It's because I had them.
Yeah.
You're the Iron Man.
2 days ago. Yeah.
Larry presents them last night as though they were a world exclusive. and Larry presents them, and he says the following. Now, I haven't heard these. Larry says that. How had he not heard them?
I don't know.
I'll bet CNN played them.
Sure.
How had he not heard them?
Mm-hmm.
He had not heard them because he doesn't read anything and he doesn't watch anything and he has no idea what the hell is going on. He's hanging out with the old guys from Brooklyn and trying to stay alive.
Probably thinks he's the only one sleeping with his wife, too.
No, that's not necessary. That's horrible.
How am I doing?
He's a very, believe me, I've known him and I've met him several times. I've been on his show several times. I'm telling you now, he's a good guy. He's not a bad person at all. I would never want to suggest that Larry King is a bad person. He's a sweetheart. He really is. He's a sweet guy.
Just out of touch?
He just has no clue what's going on. Hasn't any idea.
The Johnson tapes are showing up on oldies collections.
Rhino Records has the Johnson tapes out.
Exactly.
Along with a Buck Owens box set, you can get the Johnson tapes from Rhino Records.
Right.
Yak now.
I swear to God, I mean, just...
And they're a world of
And he finishes his show last night. I'm switching between Larry and the baseball game. He finishes his show. He's played all the tapes, and he goes like this, Charles. He goes,
Got through another one.
well, that's what Deirdre said. But it wasn't that he got through another one. That's not what he meant. He meant, Jesus, man, isn't that something?
Yeah.
You heard these tapes here.
You believe what I just heard?
That's exactly right.
On my show.
On my show, right.
And he had Sergeant Shriver, and I have enormous admiration and respect for Sergeant Shriver.
Yeah.
But let me just say this to Sergeant Shriver. It's over!
Get out!
Get out!
Beat it. You discharged, Sarge.
And Senator Chuck Robb, no bigger slime ball in America than this creep.
Please.
Yeah.
No bigger creep than Chuck Robb. None.
Maybe he wants to be president.
A bigger creep than Dick Morris.
Whoa.
He's at the pinnacle.
Ah, what a slug.
Of Mount Creek.
If Lyndon Johnson were alive today, he'd shoot Chuck Robb for marrying his daughter. Ew, what a, oh, God, what a horrible person. You know, you have to wash your TV screen after that bastard's been on it. Get that Windex going, you know?
Get a penicillin
God, what a
shot.
creep.
Get him on, Bertie.
Ugh.
Book him, buddy.
And then Jack Valenti, Jack Valenti, there's another guy who's just a sweetheart. I love him, don't you?
Elegant.
Yeah. An elegant sweetheart.
Absolutely.
And these tapes, and Larry's playing these. We played the tapes, and we played the tapes here a week ago, or on the first of the week.
Right.
No wonder that the CNN has gone to hell in a handbasket. I mean, it's you know.
Coeur d'Alene, Idaho.
I mean, it's a disaster.
What do you think about these tapes we're playing?
And then we've got, now what is the point? Here's another point. What's the point in I'm saying this to the people at MSNBC. Stop the madness with this Keith Olbermann. Let him do the show he wants to do. Let's not make him talk to this moron who's representing Paula Corbin Jones or these other idiots about this school teacher having this baby with this 13-year-old kid in Alaska. You heard about that deal, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's not what we want Keith Olbermann to do.
But force feeding them stuff. Huh?
No, let him. He's a bright, funny guy. Let him do his show. And we've got Keith taking phone calls. Stop it.
Enough.
It's idiotic.
Let Keith be Keith.
Then we have this frustrated, misogynistic geek, liberal, panty-wearing, tree-hugging, spotted-out, tongue-kissing idiot from the New York Observer last night on I can't remember his name. It is eminently forgettable anyway. Some gnat, some twerp from the New York Observer. And he says to this brain-dead moron who's representing Paula Corbin Jones, this hussy, she looks like a cleaned-up Tammy Faye Baker, a little, you know, what a Susan McMiller Carpenter, what's her name, face. Right. This bozo who's representing Paula Corbin Jones, the guy from the Observer says to her, well, when this whole thing went down in the American Spectator, and Danny Ferguson, a cop down there in Little Rock, employed Paula's name, just the first name Paula, in this story about dragging some babe up to see Bill Clinton there at the Excelsior Hotel. Why didn't Paula Corbin Jones sue the American Spectator? She felt that she'd been libeled, which is a good question, but it doesn't preclude her from suing the president for sexually harassing her.
It doesn't go to that case.
No, which my wife, by the way, pointed out to me. So something I hadn't even thought of. I said, well, that is a good question. Well, my point here in bringing all this up is that this Susan Carpenter McMillan Fertilizer Fleetwood Mac, whatever her name is, who, by the way, is whose skin's tighter than, Alex Van Halen's drum kit.
Helen Gurley Brown.
Yeah, got more lifts than Mount Snow.
Yeah.
This idiot doesn't even think of that. Well, of course, I didn't either, but that's not the point. I'm not defending Paula Corbin Jones. She said, well, that's a good question why she didn't sue the American Spectator, but that doesn't preclude her from suing the president.
Of course not. Separate issue.
There's a completely separate issue, which you would figure the gnat from the Observer would realize, but, I mean, we're not talking about somebody who's writing for the New Yorker, for example. So, or Vanity Fair or somebody. So that was my evening.
Well, great evening,
Oh, God, just me. Stuff to make you want to just kill yourself.
Sitting there getting increasingly. Hope you have another one of those evenings.
I do not believe that I should devote an hour or a day of my time to any personal partisan causes or to any duties other than the awesome duties of this office, the presidency of your country.
You must leave now, take what you need, you think will last.
Accordingly, I shall not seek
But whatever you wish to keep, you better grab it fast.
and I will not accept
He understands your orphan with his gun,
the nomination of my party for another term as your president.
crying like a fire in the sun. Look out, the saints are coming through, and it's all over now, baby blue. Imus in the morning.
Time now for another coffee tip from the coffee experts at Medallia d'Oro, the people who have been making Great Taste and Espresso for over 75 years, and now new Medallia d'Oro Italian Roast Gourmet Coffee.
Vanished H-Raw. Well, there go the soccer moms. I told you so. Told you day in, day out, time and again. But would you listen to me? No. And now, ain't we at a fancy pass? You damn right we are. We're just 5 presidents off of Richard Nixon, and we got another one going down faster than a 21-year-old intern looking to advance her resume. With apologies to Warner Wolf, if you had Bill Clinton and 2 4-year terms, you lost. Remember poor old Bob Dole? From I Didn't Inhale through Jennifer Flowers, Whitewater, Commodities Trading, Travelgate, Filegate, Coffeegate, Asiagate, there was old Dole wearing everybody out saying, where's the outrage? Well, now we know once and for all, it's in your boy Bubba's damn Munsingware. Because this is where you wind up, Larry, when you find somebody's pecker where you'd expect to find a set of tonsils. Now, it ain't proved yet just what Bubba was doing with it, only allegations, but it looks to me like one thing he was doing with it was stepping on it, Larry. And these statements he's been making, embarrassing. In fact, the only thing worse than his answers so far was the questions some of your reporter friends were putting to him. Here's the question, Larry. Were you hosing the babe or not? And did you squeeze her to lie or didn't you? I'll tell you the deal, Larry. The gullible goobers who voted for this shyster, despite all the evidence against him, went right ahead and elected themselves a sex fiend. I'm going to take some hits on that one, but I don't care. We elected us a sex fiend. And here's something else. Nobody was more right than you were when you went down there and made that speech about how when Bubba was doing play-by-play at that baseball game, it probably wasn't the first time he had said, go, baby. Because now we know it sure as hell wasn't the last time either, was it? Well, was it? Answer me. By the way, do you know where the Pope is?
Oh, why?
Neither's anybody else. Jesus. The boy could have been sitting in the middle of Jose Marti Airport, smoking a stogie, with Jennifer Flowers sitting on his lap, and nobody would have noticed. Talk about lousy timing. Oh, and here's a note to your boy Dan Rather in the Newshounds at CBS. The Eagle has landed. I figure they're still catching up on that one, too, most likely. I mean, who cares if you're nothing but news if you're also nothing but late? Somebody ought to stick a mirror under Andrew Hayward's nose to see if he's breathing. Well, this whole deal's just awful. We're about 1 case of emphysema away from having the tobacco toady, Prince Albert Gore, for our new leader, for God's sake. It's just sad. And I got under lawyer Bob Bennett's hood and took a look, and here's my advice for that nincompoop. If you smell a rat, like you say, Bob, get your nose out of Bill Clinton's butt. And you can stick that up your 11 o'clock local news, Larry. Much obliged for having me on your show.
And now nationally syndicated sports columnist Mike Lupica, who was the host this past Sunday of the Sports Reporters on ESPN, which is nearly almost always unwatchable because of that fat moose, Dick Schaap.
No,
but it was a very entertaining edition of the Sports Reporters. Good morning program. Good morning, Roger.
Hey, man, I'm getting a little worried about Bubba, man. They're dragging Charlie Tree in to testify that he had sexual relations with my brother.
I don't think that's why he's going to testify, Roger.
Oh, because I saw that at Stephanopoulos the other day, and that didn't seem like a stretch, but when they started hey, did I hear right? This teacher had the baby with the 6th grade students back doing the horizontal bop with him?
No.
You know who I feel bad for?
No.
Her ex-husband. What kind of a blow you think it does to your manhood knowing your wife cheated on you with somebody who don't even have pubes yet? Holy God. And then she went back to him. But he's missing a huge opportunity here, man. I mean, you got a woman who's got to turn to a 6th grader for satisfaction. You could make a fortune as a spokesmodel with one of them hands in the back of Screw Magazine, one of them penis enlargers.
These late-breaking developments just into the Imus and Washington Network newsroom. Walter?
A scene of mayhem and wholesale slaughter in Lafayette Park, just across the street from the White House at this hour, where members of the Democratic National Committee have opened fire on human rights protesters demonstrating against the visit here of the President of China, Jiang Zemin. As the fighting raged, IIW reporters were able to get to the general chairman of the DNC, Senator Christopher Dodd, to ask what in the world had happened to what had been a peaceful, if tense, demonstration. Senator Dodd.
Do you think for 1 second we're going to risk losing this Chinese money? We've got the president of China here, for God's sake. You think he wants to run into a bunch of soreheads over here who are bent out of shape just because a couple of people who don't get slapped around a little bit in Beijing? Is that how we treat valued guests here? Look, we've got a $15 million 1996 campaign debt that we still have to retire. We're supposed to do that without foreign intervention? Get the out of here! Die, protesting scum!
Asked why President Clinton wasn't on the scene, helping the DNC eradicate the human rights agitators, Senator Dodd looked, laughed, rolled his eyes, and said simply, please.
At the continuing hearings in the campaign fundraising abuses, doctors say they are puzzled over the obvious health problems of Senate Governmental Affairs Committee Chairman Fred Thompson, believing that Thompson has begun exhibiting symptoms of the rare malady progeria, in which the body ages precipitously, or may simply be measuring his birthdays in dog year terms. Here is renowned gerontologist Dr. Madison Lewis.
Well, something is going on. Did you see the senator on Face the Nation Sunday? It is clear to us that in terms of his physical health, Senator is approaching a stage that we would expect to see in an individual of about 130. The institutional gray-green pallor, the lower eyelids that could stand a bra, the jowls that could double as leaf bags, the weed whacker eyebrow, progeria, which can be triggered, we believe, by some emotional trauma. Exceedingly rare, but then, well, how many times does a guy get dumped by Lori Morgan? And also find out that she was hosing everybody with a hat and a heartbeat.
And now, Tim Russert with a preview of this Sunday's Meet the Press.
Secretary of State Madeleine Albright, former Senator Robert Doe, our Meet the Press minute, Carmel and Madeline, William Sapphire, Bob Woodward, and me.
In publishing news, confusion continues over the title and intent of the new book written by Zell Miller, Democratic governor of the state of Georgia. First, say publishing insiders, it's confusing and remarkable that an individual from Georgia can write, period, even if at a this river don't go to Aintree level. Further confusion lies in whether the book is titled Core Values, reflecting the governor's continued insipid defense of the Clinton administration.
This is the Imus in the Morning program.
Reporter and chief clinician Walter Cronkite.
And bent double over the Media Watch examination table today, trousers at presidential level, cheeks pulled wide in invitation, probing digit of the Media Watch investigative unit, we find the flabby form of Rick Kaplan, the adipose administrator of the cable news network, CNN, a wholly owned subsidiary of, well, Rahm Emanuel, the man who would be George Stephanopoulos, if, like the Scarecrow, he only had a brain. Sorry, Rahm, you don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't have gotten yourself in a position to be in league with what is rapidly becoming the most laughable presidency any country has ever seen. Indeed, lunacy was underscored indelibly, in my view, with the now infamous Heartland trip of administration officers, Larry, Curly, and Moe, singing, "Oh, why, oh, did we ever go to Ohio?" The State Department's Madeleine Albright, the Defense Department's William Cohen, and the Dairy Department's Sammy the Bagel Burger. Just how long do you think it will be before Richard Simmons is sobbing on his doorstep? However, the people who should be weeping with the indignity they've visited upon themselves are the news chieftains of the major networks. The two Andys, Black of NBC, Hayward of CBS, and Rune, what month is it, Arledge of ABC. Three of electronic journalism's pillars of power who just allowed themselves to be diddled the doggy way by the unredeemable reprobates of CNN. The arm of the Clinton White House. Yes, confronted by the decision of Clinton and his media director of artifice, CNN News President Kaplan, to bed down together outside the Lincoln bedroom, Black, Hayward, Arledge, and underlings rolled over for both Bubba and Rick like Arkansas troopers procuring another bimbo. But that they hadn't actually signed on. They at least offered tacit approval to the exclusive town meeting coverage ladled out by Mike McCurry through their silence on the matter. Rest assured, had it been this old warhorse involved, while exercising the proper restraint called for, I would nevertheless have kicked somebody's ass. Indeed, had it been me facing a propaganda cabal between my president and the globally dimensioned shill, even now, you'd be reading the logo Stride Right on Rick Kaplan's colon. Yes, shame and... Oh, it's February, Rune Arledge. Like Betty Curry, you looked the other way. As Rick Kaplan and CNN, in so many words, went into the study with the Johnny Wadd of Washington, William Jefferson Clinton. A black day for American governance, a black day for American journalism. Indeed, the only bright spot appears to be the milk mustache now beneath Kaplan's sepia-colored nose. Jesus. At least Katzenberg only hugged Al Gore. For me to watch this is Walter Cronkite. Thank you and good night.
Oh, if crying again, you're gonna leave me. I can see that faraway look in your eyes. I can tell by the way you hold me, darling, that it won't be long before it's crying time. Kindness in the morning.
It's been quite a... on his head is John Cardinal O'Connor. Good morning, Cardinal O'Connor.
Good morning, Nicole Bless.
What happened to your voice there?
Let me just say what most people were thinking during the State of the Union last night, Mr. Lamar.
Yes?
Where's the beef, me Jesus? Yeah, that's a schmuck, yeah.
Where's the beef?
Has the I-Man heard anything about the president and Sonny Bono's widow?
No, we haven't.
Bloody disgrace we hit on her during the State of the Union last night, Mr. Lamar. No wonder he didn't just whip out the first member and start wiggling at her, me Jesus. Or he damn near did. The winning numbers in New York State Lottery is as follows.
Good, what are they?
Let's get this, Mr. Lamar.
More of the numbers.
Besides Frank Rich, how's New York's most famous Clinton apologist making out today? WUOFOB, wrinkle up old friend of Bill's, be Jesus. What the hell are you trying to do? Get your flea-bitten bugle boy carcass buried in Arlington National Cemetery, be Jesus. God forbid you. Shame on you, Mr. Lamar. The only difference between the I-Man and Monica Lewinsky is that Clinton doesn't owe Imus a dry cleaning bill, be Jesus. His butt-sniffing sleeve bag here.
I don't think butt-sniffing sleeve.
The daily number.
What is the daily number?
We just say this, Mr. Lamar.
What's the daily number?
What do you expect when you put white trash in the White House, be Jesus?
Well,
now we know what that great sucking sound was that Ross Perot kept hearing, be Jesus. Bill Clinton could be the first president to be literally blown out of office, be Jesus, you know what I mean? You filthy skunk, you. The win for number.
What are they?
Let's get this, Mr. Lamar.
No number.
What's up with poor Hillary going on TV with that bubblehead Matt Lauer to defend Bill?
You leave Matt alone.
Not a little bit like Ronald Reagan speaking out on John Hinckley's behalf, be Jesus. Makes you wonder. Bloody insane, be Jesus.
What?
Let's get this, Mr. Lamar.
Yeah.
You see Jeff Greenfield on CNN, the Clinton News Network, Mr. Lamar?
Yeah.
Did a lot of place, didn't he? Not until the likes of Bernard Shaw and Judy Woodruff, Dumb and Dumber, be Jesus, beneath him. Like Luciano Pavarotti, singing with the butthole surface or some damn thing. Some things you don't do for money, Mr. Lamar.
I know. I had thought of that.
Which doesn't belong and why?
Oh, I like this. My favorite part. Which doesn't belong and why?
All right. Before we get to that, Mr. Mark.
Yeah, what happened to the numbers, by the way?
Glad to hear Senator Lieberman believes Bill Clinton. I have a great one in an old Volkswagen I'd like to sell him, I tell you that. Which does belong and why?
Which doesn't belong and why?
A, the taxpayer.
Oh, the taxpayer.
B, Republicans.
B, Republicans.
C, Monica Lewinsky. Which doesn't belong and why?
I'd say Republicans. No, I'd say the taxpayer.
Probably the taxpayer.
On you two-legged seaman saying you be Jesus.
Now, come on here.
Well, for years, Clinton's been giving all three the shaft.
Yeah.
The answer is B, Republicans don't belong because unlike the other two, in the Republicans, leaves a bad taste in their mouth, BGs. I tell you that, to schmuck you.
What was the end? What?
The Republicans doesn't belong because unlike the other two, in the Republicans, it leaves a bad taste in their mouths. Getting the shaft, you schmuck you. Go ahead. Where's your intern?
John Cardinal O'Connor.
Put your dress on.
Here on the I'm Mr. Morning program, and something that makes no sense.
I got to straighten this out.
I got to think about that a while. Doesn't make any sense, did it?
Let's go over it again, you schmuck you.
Okay, good. All right.
Which doesn't belong and why?
Which doesn't belong and why?
Bloody retard. A, the taxpayer.
A, the taxpayer.
B, Republicans.
B, Republicans.
C, Monica Lewinsky. Which doesn't belong and why?
I would say B, the Republicans.
God, Jesus, you start like it.
Monica Lewinsky. All right, Monica Lewinsky.
Put you in any summit. Wrong, you two-legged seaman.
Okay.
Well, for years, Clinton's been giving all three the shaft.
Yeah.
The answer is B, Republicans don't belong because unlike the other two, in the Republicans, it leaves a bad taste in their mouth, Jesus.
I just don't get it, do you?
That's the problem. You don't get it, you schmuck you. Big Clinton apologist that you are.
Just say amen and forget.
Amen. Thank you very much, John Cardinal O'Connor.
Ask you this time, Mr. Mark.
No, you're not going to ask me anything.
You're going to see that K-fan tonight.
Yes, I am, I think.
Remember poor Malcolm X's widow, Betty Shabazz, burned to death by her own grandson. Any truth to the rumor that Paul Simon plans to make a little musical out of that, Mr. Mark?
I don't know.
You light up my life or something.
I don't know what he plans to do.
Degrees with light rain. That's what's happening. I'm Joe Tollison with 2020 Sports on WFAN, the flagship station for the Imus in the Morning program, weekdays from 5:30 till 10.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN, New
York. Good morning, everybody. How are you today? Christopher Russo on a Saturday morning in St. Pete. Nice to have you with us, talking about the world of sports. We got a busy day today, indeed. We're here at 12, 718-937-6666. Two-way sports talk. Telephone number you're going to hear today from Bill Walton on the Knicks in Utah, plus the NCAA, John Sunvote, who has Arizona, Utah. You hear from him as well, and your phone call, 718-937-6666. Lisa Johnson's going to produce this extravaganza back in the shop. Colin, who is going on vacation, he's been in vacation mode since yesterday at about 5:15, will be on vacation. He's on vacation now, but he's going to hang in here for a couple of minutes to have get this show, put the train on the tracks, so to speak.
Here's Warner Wolf.
Good morning, Warner.
Good morning. Thank you, I-Man. The Imus in the Morning Sports Report is brought to you by the U.S. Robotics. 6 games in the NBA last night, including the tale of two cities. The Bulls, with the best record in the NBA at 52-17, beat the Celtics by 23, 111-88. After the game, Celtics coach Rick Pitino.
Our defense tonight could get an Academy Award, too, for acting.
And on the other hand, the Denver Nuggets lost to the Lakers 107-86. Denver drops to 8-62.
How's Boston doing, the Celtics, by the way? Pretty good this year?
They've already passed last year's win total.
Okay.
Which wasn't much.
No.
Celtics, the Denver drops to 8-62 with 12 to play. They must win one of the remaining 12 to avoid being the worst team in the history of the NBA. Women's NCAA Regionals, NC State eliminated the University of Connecticut women 60-52. No truth to the rumor that Connecticut tried to put in the injured Nikisha Sales for an uncontested 8-point play at the end of the game. But NC State refused. A sad note in sports, Hall of Fame sportscaster Ray Scott died yesterday in Minneapolis. 78-year-old Scott was the voice of the Packers in the 1950s and 60s.
He was great.
He was great.
Yeah, I remember him.
Unlike many TV play-by-play men, Scott always felt that the less said, the better on TV, and that the TV picture told the story, as demonstrated in this call of the 1967 Packers-Cowboys NFL title game.
3rd down, 1. Starr looking deep for Dowler.
Ray Scott dead at 78.
Well, what happened?
Touchdown.
Like he was
Well,
tugging
the
his
picture
Pabst
told
Blue ribbon.
Maybe
You saw the touchdown. See.
Maybe he didn't know what was going on.
Oh, no. The White Sox have signed outfielder Will Cordero to a one-year deal. Cordero arrested last summer and eventually pleaded guilty to charges of assaulting his wife. He should feel home with the White Sox because he can now play alongside of Albert Bell, who abuses the fans. It's official. Last night, the NFL voted for the Cleveland Browns to get an expansion team in 1999 and will return to the AFC Central Division. And the league, tired of competing with the NBA in becoming the sports leader in player crimes, have given Commissioner Paul Tagliabue the sole authority to suspend NFL players convicted of assault, spousal abuse, gun possession, and other crimes.
Jeez.
Judge, jury, and executioner. If enforced, the Dallas Cowboys may have to fold their franchise. For Imus in the Morning Sports, this is Warner Wolf.
13 till the hour here on the Imus in the Morning program. The Oscars last night, the best picture was, well, it must have happened after midnight, right, Charles?
I think it did, yeah.
It was Titanic. The best director was that geek, James Cameron. It was just annoying. Best actor was Jack Nicholson for As Good as It Gets, and the best actress was Helen Hunt for As Good as It Gets. Best screenplay is these two kids that wrote Good Will Hunting. Best screenplay was for a couple of guys who wrote L.A. Confidential, which was based on a James Elroy novel, who wrote one of my favorite books, and I can't remember the name of it because I'm tired, but it was it was a parody of the Kennedy situation, Cuba deal. But I've read it twice, but I can't. Supporting actress Kim Basinger seemed like she was pretty happy about it.
Yes, she did.
Didn't she?
Very genuine.
Very genuine.
Yep.
And Robin Williams thought that was good. He won.
Yep.
The best song was this "My Heart Will Go On" from Titanic. And I guess that was sung by Celine Dion.
Yep.
Is that the Celine Dion thing?
Yeah. Right. Hideous.
It's just hideous.
Awful.
The best original music, there's a bunch of. There's a lot of them. There's just too much stuff to go on. So, Titanic won 11 Oscars, which is as many as Ben-Hur won.
Right.
So,
Tied the record.
Which is the last time I went to a movie theater. It was to see Ben-Hur.
Birth of a Nation.
It is 12 till the hour.
On the next South Lawn, the independent counsel continues his probe of the president.
You homo, get your finger out of my ass.
Kenny Starr has Kathleen Willey testify in front of the grand jury for 6.5 hours.
That bastard's hornier than me. How many times did she have to tell him I made her grab my...
Meanwhile, in Newsweek, Linda Tripp rears her ugly head again.
You're telling me my dog wouldn't even that bitch.
Speaking of dogs, first, Buddy takes a trip to the vet.
Okay, boy, here's the deal. We're gonna have to cut your off. Now don't turn homo on me.
And then Paula Jones says under oath that she didn't leave Fat Man's hotel room because there was a state trooper outside with a gun.
I should have had that bastard shoot me when I had the chance, because I'd rather cut my own off than see that bitch naked.
Of course, Monica has something to say.
Hey, honey, if you're gonna talk, you have to take that out of your mouth first.
Batman grows impatient with his cabinet.
You hoes better shape up or I'll buy you like that fat drunk Russian bastard.
And then decides he needs to take another vacation.
Hey, let's go to Africa and hit on black chicks. Wonder what it'd be like to get a Hummer from those natives with the plates in their lips.
South Lawn, just like those potty-mouth reprobates on Comedy Central, except they're running your country.
Hey, Umbutu, you think you got too much on your plate now? Wait till you get a bite of this.
We're going to get CBS and MSNBC to... We don't even need an elaborate studio on the ranch. We just need a room. And we're off about 6 weeks during the summer anyway. And the other 6 weeks, Charles and I, we can be out there, and the rest of the guys can be here.
Sure.
And we can work off a monitor, can't we?
Certainly.
So we'll broadcast from the ranch during the summer, and then take the kids and we'll build the ranch.
You'd be in good shape at 3 o'clock in the morning. This is really hard to do. I'm tired.
But I need I need three.
What were we thinking about?
Your radio sounds funny in the morning. You're listening to Imus in the morning.
I don't know if Stuart understands how many hats that is. We'll probably get it from Resistol or somebody, but kids are going through chemotherapy and they're bald-headed anyway.
No, they like the hat.
I'm not going to treat them like babies.
Hey, you
I thought that's what they...
I know.
Put the hat on, you idiot.
The promise hat on.
Fuzz dome.
Imus in the morning. Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Follow the rock and roll president as he does 6 nations in 11 days, soaking up the sun, the fun, and some of the local color.
You know, those native girls are kind of cute.
MTV provides wall-to-wall coverage of Bubba's Swahili sojourn.
Nina Kapanda. Nina Kapanda. That means I love you. Don't think that'll come in handy, do you?
Ride along in the Jeep with Bubba's personal native guide for one swinging safari.
Hey, what do you call those animals over there?
Those are boardwalk. We call them bush pigs.
Oh, we have those back home. Except I call them interns.
Feel the heat as Bubba bags another one for his trophy case.
Hey, put down that elephant gun. That's no hippo. That's my wife.
Join in the Congo Conga line and let MTV put you in the front row for the Watusi Wet T-shirt contest.
I don't think we'll need that. Those babes are topless. But Betty, what are you doing? Put your shirt on, girl. Hey, somebody get Mrs. Curry to put her shirt on.
It's a non-stop Botswanian bacchanalia.
Hey, you gone to mama? You wanna with Bwana? Look here, my little great white hunter. He's already got his helmet on and he's ready to go deep into the bush.
MTV's Spring Break in Africa with Bill Clinton.
Be careful, because over here they've got cannibals. So eat me has an entirely different meaning.
You have brought us here and stripped us of everything we once had. You've stripped us of our culture. You've stripped us of our language. You've stripped us of our God, our religion, our background. You've cut off our roots, all ties that we once had with our own kind in the East. And after stripping us of our roots and destroying us as a people, making us become dead as a people, mentally and otherwise, then you point the finger of scorn at us and tell the world that we're not ready for freedom, that we're not qualified for freedom.
Imus in the morning.
Here now, I'm Mr. Washington Senior Military Affairs Advisor, the late General George S. Patton, Jr.
At ease, as you were. Bugler? Sir. Sound off.
Sir, yes, sir.
That'll be enough. Fine rendition, son. We sound taps today, people, for the simple reason we are dead. James Carville declared this struggle to be war, as you recall. Well, I have terrible news from the front. The war is over. We lost. We got our backsides handed to us, boys. Annihilated. The winner is now on a victory lap in Africa, of all places, where I met that magnificent bastard Rommel in another war of another day many years ago. But believe me, defeating the forces of Erwin Rommel was child's play compared to the adversaries we were confronted by today. Rahm Emanuel, Paul Begala, Carville, of course, and the leaker Lewis, Sidney Swamp Thing Blumenthal, and all the rest of the dissembling brigade of prevaricators under the command of Water Buffalo Robert Bennett. We were outgunned, outmanned, outthought, and out of our minds to think we were looking at another Watergate when what we were really seeing was our own Waterloo, for Christ's sakes. So I appear before you people today, before I surrender my sword to the President's personal representative, Eleanor Clift, to offer you my apology. Only the second time I have apologized during my long career of leading you people, since I had to slap that crybaby sissy boy 50-odd years ago. I am sorry. I had deluded myself into thinking that surely, given Flowers, Jennifer, Jones, Paula, Browning, Dolly, Lewinsky, Monica, and Willie, Kathleen, that we would have had the fat bastard right where we wanted him. I was wrong. We have lost the people and the struggle. I leave you then, an old soldier, with one question and one observation. Observation, James Carville was wrong. Rather than Paula Jones, what you get when you drag a $100 bill through a trailer park, I'm afraid, is the 42nd President of the United States. And the question, when William Jefferson Clinton finally moves back to Arkansas, will Megan's Law apply? Thank you for your attention. That is all.
I'm not dead. I'm alive. And I have the victory. I am victorious. What are you telling me? I'm telling you the God you worship is not in a tomb. I'm telling you he's not on a cross. I'm telling you he is seated by the right hand of the Father.
Imus in the morning.
Jimmy Swaggart here on the Imus Morning Program, 16 to the hour. All right, if you love... Here's Warner. Walt. Good morning, Warner. Didn't that little kitty help you out, Chuck?
Yeah, sure
Absolutely.
did. Yeah. Thank you for giving me that chicken I choked, too. Thanks a lot.
Well, it's a nice lady down there. She thinks Bernard's a hoot, and she's willing to give us some chickens to pet. But...
Yeah.
All right. Good morning, Warner.
Good morning. Thank you, I-Man. For the first time in history, more money will be bet on the NCAA tournament than on the Super Bowl. Up to $80 million will have been bet on the NCAA tournament, while only $78 million was bet on the Packer-Bronco game.
Who do you like to win this tournament, Warner?
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I like any 60-year-old coach coaching anywhere. So I like North Carolina.
No.
Bill Guthridge. And Tubby Smith is a great story.
From Kentucky, yeah.
You know why they call him Tubby?
No.
You know what the story is?
Well, what's the deal?
When he was growing up on a farm in Maryland,
Yeah.
he got tired of the people. He was a little kid. He wanted to go hide, and he went, closed the door, sat in the tub. Has nothing to do with his weight.
I'll be darned.
You know, people thought, oh, he must have been a fat kid.
Yeah,
no,
good.
he wasn't.
Yeah, good story. That's a great story, Warner.
But the key...
Maybe you can tell that when you turn on Channel 2 tonight.
The key is the point spread.
Oh,
See,
okay.
that's what you want to know. Sure, you're going to pick... Everybody's going to take North Carolina and Kentucky.
Sure.
Right?
Well,
Period.
yeah.
But are they going to beat the spread?
Did you enter the pool here at the radio station?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
I don't bet.
Well, I don't bet either, but I entered the pool.
Yo, you mean there's no money in this pool?
Well, I guess there is, yeah. I had to give them $10. But
What do you mean?
Did I bet them?
Come on, that's betting.
Oh, okay. Well, I okay.
That's illegal betting.
Yeah. It is?
Sure, of course. Absolutely.
Well, I'm going to give the money to the Imus Ranch deal if I win. So.
So that's the question. North Carolina's 8.5-point favorite over Utah. Kentucky, 8-point favorite over Stanford. Will they beat the spread? I would say, because these games have been close, I would take the underdogs and the points. Not that they'll win, but that they won't lose by the 8.5 and the 8 points.
So you realize I win the pool if North Carolina simply wins. I probably win the pool even if Kentucky wins, right, Lou?
It's close.
Yeah, it'd be close.
Based on points?
So, yeah, based on the points that I've amassed already.
Yeah.
Because,
well, that shows you sports people don't know anything.
No, nothing.
Right? I mean,
I think that's one way to look at it, Warner. I think another way to look at it would be that the I-Man understands what's going on.
That's right.
I think it would be a more positive way to look at all this. Don't you think?
Baby. Lord said, baby, fat is red sand. Yes, I said, baby. Ooh, baby, fat is red sand.
Imus in the morning.
Imus in the Morning, 2020 Sports, with another man who's been thrown out of our nation's capital on his ass, Warner Wolf.
Good morning, Warner.
Good morning. Thank you, I-Man. If you had the I-Man who at the beginning of the NCAA tournament guaranteed that both Duke and Arizona would not be in the Final Four, you won.
That's right.
Yesterday, Duke blew a 17-point lead in the second half, lost to Kentucky 86-84, and Rhode Island blew a 6-point lead with only a minute left and lost to Stanford 79-77. First, here's Kentucky announcer Ralph Hacker of WVLK at the end of the Kentucky-Duke game.
Duke starts to run. Duke looks. They get it into Avery. We got 3. We got 2. Behind the back. Avery throws at the buzzer. No good. The Cats go to the Alamo. Tubby Smith goes to the Final Four.
Meanwhile, on this other game, here's CBS Chuck Cooperstein on the go-ahead Stanford basket against Rhode Island.
Mobley in the backcourt. Watch Lee knocked it away. Stolen Madsen dunked the ball, and he's fouled. He's fouled. The basket counts, and Mark Madsen will have a chance at a three-point play.
Down by 3, Rhode Island missed 3 foul shots with 5 seconds left. After the game, Rhode Island coach Jim Harrick.
They cut my heart out, and my team's heart out, and you saw it. They just cut our heart out, and
And that's just what happens. It's a very humbling game.
It'll be Stanford's first trip to the Final Four since 1942. So Saturday in San Antonio's Alamo Dome, North Carolina, 8.5-point favorite over their club, Utah, and Kentucky, 8-point favorite over Stanford. And how about a great success story for the two coaches, Tubby Smith, who replaced Rick Pitino, and Bill Guthridge, who replaced Dean Smith. Two great stories.
Well, we'll see how they do next year.
Well, but still, I mean, even to reach the Final Four replacing legends.
Yeah, but they had the team. The team was in place. What they have to do? They didn't have to do anything.
That's right.
No.
So maybe that shows you how important is the coach.
Not very important.
You've got the team, right?
They had the players.
They got the players.
They have to have a coach.
That's right.
Dean Smith and Rick Pitino recruited the players, put in the plays. All these guys, and these guys were already there.
That's right. Who needed those guys? Who needs a coach?
Was Tubby Smith an assistant to Rick Pitino?
Yeah.
No. Well, he was. Yeah. So they didn't have to do anything.
No. Just sit down and be still.
Now, let's see how they do 2 years from now.
2
years from now. Let's see that deal. All right, it's coming up on 6 minutes till the hour here.
You've got the magic touch. It makes me glow so much. It casts a spell. It rings a bell. The magic touch.
Imus in the morning.
Turn up the hour.
Willie and Millie got mad last fall.
Sounds like Johnny Otis.
They had a little Willie Jr. and Patty and O. Well, the baby got famous in his crib, you see. Doing the hand jive on TV. Hand jive. Hand jive. Hand jive. Doing that crazy hand jive. Hey.
Imus in the morning.
In more than...
The 46-year-old former short order cook was the first inmate to be cooked in the state's electric chair since the fiery death of Pedro Medina in March 1997, a controversial episode in which flames erupted from Mr. Medina's head, you may recall, during his execution there in the electric chair in Stark. This fellow had confessed to killing 41 women in Florida, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania, and his execution is the first of 4 scheduled in Florida over the coming 8 days. He was specifically executed for the murder of a 17-year-old girl.
Good. It's 19 after the hour here on the Imus in the Morning program. Tomorrow, I believe,
reality, we can go.
You want to leave me, but I refuse to let you go. If I have to beg, plead for your sympathy, I don't mind, 'cause you mean that much to me.
Imus in the morning.
As the world leader in
17 till the hour. Al Franken is featured in the new NBC comedy series Late Line, which he also created and serves as executive producer. Late Line, what is it about?
It's behind the scenes of a show a lot like Nightline. And in fact, we've been showing the show. The show's been on in Germany now for quite a while, and is called Der Narrischer Jude, the Foolish Jew. And it's very popular there.
If your radio sounds funny in the morning, you're listening to Imus in the morning.
Bill Graham was the first thing I saw him do. He did this thing that he repeated over and over again, which was, I flung the 3rd, 7th, and 9th grades. And I thought to myself, gee, what a surprise.
In the morning.
Talk about Phil Graham.
Sports Radio 66, WFAN.
Well, it's a great
patrol.
Imus in the morning, 2020 sports. You will go to the videotape. Here's Warner Wolf.
Good morning, Warner.
Good morning. Thank you, I-Man. Over $80 million will have been bet on the NCAA tournament for the first time, exceeding the amount bet on the Super Bowl. But, of course, it's a little unfair. There will have been 63 NCAA games compared to only 1 Super Bowl game.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
North Carolina, 8.5-point favorite over Utah. Kentucky, 8-point favorite over Stanford.
Who's favored in the if Kentucky and North Carolina get to the final? Who's favored in that one? North Carolina.
North Carolina
Yeah,
would be
okay,
favored.
Yeah.
NBA.
That means the I-Man wins the pool.
That's right.
I know.
That's right.
I'm already so far ahead. Now I might just win anyway.
One pool we'd like to see a line in.
That will be fine. Go ahead, Warner.
If you thought the I-Man would bomb out in the NCAA pool, you lost.
That's right.
Yeah. NBA last night, the Jazz made it 14 of 15, beat the Suns. And the Bucks, without 3 of their 5 starters, Glenn Robinson, Tyrone Hill, and Terrell Brandon, beat the Rockets 118 to 108. Who needs them? Nobody needs them. Play without 3 or 5 starters, you win by 10? Stay away.
Yeah.
Here's Ted Davis of WTMJ.
Bucks rebound, rip it down and run, drop it off to Ray. Swooping, slamming! Oh, my! My brain does not believe what my eyes just saw. That's the eye popper, the knee knocker, the ankle breaker, rim rocker for Ray Allen.
Well, you know, Milwaukee doesn't win many games. Talk about, here it is, being nervous. At halftime of this game, a 32-year-old Milwaukee fan missed a three-quarter court shot for $1 million. He then missed a half-court shot for $100,000. He then missed a three-point shot for $10,000. He missed a free throw for $1,000, and then a layup for $100. And he was the best qualifier. Come on, get him out. Now, here's the kind of school you want to work for, right? Many schools, you lose 20 games, you're gone. But Louisville, finishing only 11 and 20, has given Coach Denny Crum a new 4-year contract.
All right.
How about that?
Pretty good.
That's a rarity. And here's an incentive. And this is a great idea.
All right.
Crum will receive a $25,000 bonus if his team attains a collective grade point average between 2.5 and 2.74. Now, more schools ought to do that.
Good idea.
Right?
Yeah. Good idea.
I don't know if they'll collect on the 25,000, but at least that's an incentive. Meanwhile, talk about a tough audience. Coach Shannon Miller, who took the Canadian Olympic team to the gold medal game against the U.S. in Nagano, has been fired. I mean, come on. Either win the gold or you're out.
Yeah.
Tennis, quarterfinals Lipton Championship. 17-year-old Martina Hingis, down 2 match points, came back and beat Serena Williams 6-3, 1-6, 7-6. Afterwards, Hingis said she didn't feel like she was in her own skin. Huh? Whose skin was she in?
Well,
a Theo Gibson? 6'7" heavyweight Henry Akinwande, when last seen last summer, was being disqualified. Remember, he refused to fight and held on to Lennox Lewis for 5 rounds?
Yeah.
He has been rewarded.
Of course.
By being given a heavyweight title shot against Evander Holyfield June 6th at Madison Square Garden. Only in boxing.
Amen.
For Imus of the Morning Sports, this is Warner Wolf.
It is 7 minutes till the hour. The Cardinal, he's coming up along with an MTV Spring Break in Africa with Bill Clinton and General George S. Patton Jr. The war is over and we lost.
On the next South Lawn, the Independent Counsel continues his probe of the president.
You homo, get your finger out of my ass.
Kenny Starr has Kathleen Willey testify in front of the grand jury for 6.5 hours.
That bastard's hornier than me. How many times did she have to tell him I made her grab my...
Meanwhile, in Newsweek, Linda Tripp rears her ugly head again.
You're telling me my dog wouldn't even that bitch.
Speaking of dogs, first, Buddy takes a trip to the vet.
Okay, boy, here's the deal. We're gonna have to cut your off. Now, don't turn homo on me.
And then Paula Jones says under oath that she didn't leave Fat Man's hotel room because there was a state trooper outside with a gun.
I should have had that bastard shoot me when I had the chance, because I'd rather cut my own off than see that bitch naked.
Of course, Monica has something to say.
Hey, honey, if you're gonna talk, you have to take that out of your mouth first.
Batman grows impatient with his cabinet.
You hoes better shape up or I'll fire you like that fat drunk Russian bastard.
And then decides he needs to take another vacation.
Hey, let's go to Africa and hit on black chicks. Wonder what it'd be like to get a Hummer from those natives with the plates in their lips.
South Lawn, just like those potty-mouth reprobates on Comedy Central, except they're running your country.
Hey, Umbutu, you think you got too much on your plate now? Wait till you get a bite of this.
It is coming up on the if that's entirely necessary, do you?
I think that's just brutal.
Yeah, it's coming up on the top of the hour. Here now is Howard Stern on line 6. Good morning, Howard.
Hey, how you doing, it's Howard?
Yeah.
So when's the official opening date for Rancho Ego? I don't know why Clinton's over in Africa when Albert Schweitzer's right here in New York. You're a real altruist, you know that?
Yeah.
Making kids with cancer build your summer home for you? I thought Kathy Lee Gifford was bad, but you take the cake. What a racket. Bring in new help every 7 to 10 days. Tell them they're on vacation. What a holiday, spending a week in a bunkhouse with you. You little bastards want to shut up, my back hurts. This is going to be like Treblinka with horses. 20 minutes after they get there, they'll be trying to get one of the ponies to kick them in the head.
I'm Imus in the morning, and this is WFAN in New York. We're just out of time.
Where'd Howard go?
Well, he's just an hour's out of here. It's time now for the news. And here with that is just wasn't going anywhere, was it?
It's pretty funny.
Well, it's all right. So, sorry we had to blow you up there, Howard.
It's too bad, darn it.
Yeah, how you doing?
Matters in that you think of is 10 minutes after the hour.
Live from the hinterlands of the Dark Continent, MTV's Spring Break in Africa with Bill Clinton.
Ghana, Botswana, you know what I wanna to Uganda, Rwanda, come on, pretty mama.
Follow the rock and roll president as he does 6 nations in 11 days, soaking up the sun, the fun, and some of the local color.
You know, those native girls are kind of cute.
MTV provides wall-to-wall coverage of Bubba's Swahili sojourn.
Nina Kupenda, Nina Kupenda. That means I love you. Don't think that'll come in handy, do you?
Ride along in the Jeep with Bubba's personal native guide for one swinging safari.
Hey, what do you call those animals over there?
Those are boardwalk. We call them bush pigs.
Oh, we have those back home. Except I call them interns.
Feel the heat as Bubba bags another one for his trophy case.
Hey, put down that elephant gun. That's no hippo. That's my wife.
Join in the Congo Conga line and let MTV put you in the front row for the Watusi Wet T-shirt contest.
I don't think we'll need that. Those babes are topless. But Betty, what are you doing? Put your shirt on, girl. Hey, somebody get Mrs. Curry to put her shirt on.
It's a non-stop Botswanian bacchanalia.
Hey, Uganda mama, you wanna with Moana? Look here, my little great white hunter. He's already got his helmet on, and he's ready to go deep into the bush.
MTV's Spring Break in Africa with Bill Clinton.
Be careful, because over here they've got cannibals. So eat me has an entirely different meaning.
Get ready. It's morning time. From slave ship to championship, it's morning time. From the outhouse to the state house to the courthouse to the White House, it's morning time.
Imus in the morning.
Get your hands off my wife.
Yeah, I do.
And she's an integral part of this, and so is Fred, and I'm
Right.
and it will work. So as soon as we have the property, then we'll, whichever it is, then we'll work it out. So
Climb every mountain.
it's 22 after the hour. Shut up. You know, what's great is get these kids around these cattle and these buffalo and these Siberian huskies and sheep and little ponies and stuff. I'm telling you. Great stuff. Just petting your chicken or choking it. Give me the rope and get in the truck. And I got another letter here from the guy from this Homeline outfit. They have this TV show on PBS.
Home time.
But all down. 24 after the hour. We're going to talk with Mike Barnacle coming up.
1, 2, 3, hit it. You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. I know you got it.
Imus in the morning.
Barnacle of the Boston Globe. It's 21 till the hour.
It's a cheating situation, a stealing invitation to take what's not really ours, to make it through the midnight hour. It's a cheating situation, just a cheap imitation, doing what we have to do when there's no love at home.
Imus in the morning.
Hey, if you love pasta, is this right? Is this the right spot? No. Yes, it is. Right now, over from the Archdiocese here on the Imus in the Morning program, our friend John Cardinal O'Connor. Good morning, Cardinal O'Connor.
Good morning to God, blast. And welcome back from the desert, Amos Lamar.
Thank you very much, Cardinal O'Connor.
Isn't it about time to go back, you dusty old lizard, you be Jesus? The winner numbers in the New York State Lottery is as follows.
Now, this is what we want.
Let me write them down.
All right.
Okay. Got them ready.
Well, another fine festive St. Patrick's Day has come and gone, Amos Lamar.
Yeah.
It was a lovely spring day on Fifth Avenue. Great day to look at the fine colleens, be Jesus. Or as the Kennedys might call them, my wild Irish hose, be Jesus.
That would be fine.
Right.
My wild Irish hose, the sweetest hose I knows. They'll make you a drink, then give up what's pink. Oh, my wild Irish hose. God forgive me. Of course, after the parade, Mr. Lamar. There were the usual festivities, setting homeless people on fire, maybe a group river dance on some squeegee guy's face, then out to the Burks and knock over some Jewish tombstones, be Jesus. Lots of fun to be had, Mr. Lamar. Made all the more enjoyable knowing New York's #1 fat mouth was out in the desert, be Jesus. I tell you that. The Daily Number.
Not the desert, by the way, but go ahead.
Daily Number.
They must say, Mr. Lamar.
Yeah.
God bless the I-Man for his efforts to build a ranch for sick children, which we've been hearing about for the past few days.
Yeah.
Ad nauseum. Jesus, you're making us sick.
Well.
Keep your suckholes shut, be Jesus. No, seriously, Mr. Lamar.
Yeah.
Not only is the I-Man starting to look like Mother Teresa, he's actually beginning to behave like a McCord, God bless him. Or at least like Paul Newman. What are you going to call this place? The Hole in the Lung Gang Camp, Jesus? That's it, Mr. Lamar. Hole in the lung.
I like that.
See if you can say that fast 3 times without your dentures flying out of your mouth, be Jesus. That's it.
The Hole in the Lung Ranch?
Get the fix of them. Maybe you can call it Neverland South, to be Jesus. Based on this conversation you and Fred had the other day.
Well,
Fred asked the I-Man, what if the kids refuse to cooperate when they get out to the ranch? Listen to the I-Man's reply.
you grab one kid, and you start there.
How's that again?
You grab one kid, and you start there.
Grab this, you dirt.
Come on, tell me the truth.
Yes, sir.
Yes. They don't want to be charged with a timeout.
Here you go.
Good news for the Jets. According to the Boston Globe, the New England Patriots will not match the Jets' offer sheet for all-pro running back Curtis Martin.
Best running back on the East Coast.
Right now.
One of the best running backs in pro football.
3 years played.
You can build a franchise around this guy.
That's the guy.
Unbelievable running back. 24, 25 years old.
That's it. Young guy, 3 years.
Yep, good kid.
1,100 yards per year every year.
Good
Durable.
Kid. Idiotic not to sign that guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're getting him cheap, too.
That's right.
All right, go ahead, Warren.
NIT last night, Minnesota and Penn State both won. They will meet for the title. But unless you're from Minnesota or Penn State, nobody cares about the NIT.
Yeah, you're right.
After losing to Minnesota in overtime, Fresno State coach Jerry Tarkanian.
This team's been a special group of guys because they've gone through so much adversity and they've hung together.
The problem is, that is the problem. They hung together.
They may hang together.
Right.
Yeah.
Because of criminal charges ranging from assault, arrest, guns, fights, swords, booze, and drugs. Only 2 of Fresno State's 10 scholarship players have been eligible the whole year. You know Fresno State's fight song?
No.
By the way, Mike Wallace, who exposed Fresno State on 60 Minutes, was at the game last night.
No, he
what?
wasn't.
Yes, he was.
No
He
way.
was
Come
at the
on.
game.
Mike
Wallace
What's
was
he
at the
thinking
game.
about? God.
That's right.
Well,
No
they-
joke. Finally, the Denver Nuggets, 8-62 with 12 left, will bring back former Nugget coach Dan Issel today as general manager. Issel was forced out as coach in '95. The Nuggets must win 1 of the last 12 to avoid becoming the all-time losing team. They haven't had a general manager since Alan Bristow was fired 2 months ago. You asked about the owner of the Nuggets? It's owned by the Ascent Entertainment Group. The CEO is Charlie Lyons, who up until now had requested to remain anonymous. For Imus in the Morning Sports, this is Warner Wolf.
I'm a victim of life's circumstances. I was raised around barrooms, Friday night dances, singing them old country songs. Yeah, half the time ending up someplace I don't belong. Imus in the morning.
Today for Imus in the Morning Sports, this is Warner Wolf.
I'm a victim of life's circumstances. I was raised
talk to you on a very serious note, because this is the story of a man overcoming monumental physical pain and suffering to make it a Bud Light. There's nothing funny about what you're about to hear.
Well, actually, it is kind of funny.
Work with me, son.
Okay, I was at a ball game.
He was at a ball game.
Yep. And so, like, when I saw the Bud Light vendor, I went to raise my arm so he'd see me.
His arm arose.
Exactly, but I hit my funny bone on the seat next to him.
No, no, no!
Yeah, so I just raised my other arm instead and, got his attention and the Bud Light.
He got the Bud Light! Young man, do you ever look back and wonder what would have happened if you'd just given up, if you hadn't followed your dream of making it a Bud Light?
Not really.
Probably a wise idea. So, for the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.